What's going on, everybody? David here. Today, we're going to talk about Trump and how he feels about stimulus checks. But first off, on this channel, we talk about personal finance for travelers. If that sounds like something interesting to you, please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the little bell notification so you can get future updates on my videos. All right, so we're going back to this. A couple of weeks ago, I put out a video, and it's actually doing very well, where I talked about how Trump feels about a second stimulus check. And he made mention to it on May 23rd, so I want to talk a little bit about that. And it's in his logic, too. I think his logic is a little off. I'm hoping that that he understands the necessity of getting stimulus checks sooner than later, but we'll talk about that as well. So first, let's go over to the computer here. I just want to show you the quote. So Trump is at a factory in Michigan on May 23rd, and he said, "I think there will be a second payment to help Americans move on. We will give the money towards the end of the outbreak. Right now, we are focusing on reopening the country," said Trump. So very interesting, right? So he's saying that there's going to be a second stimulus check. We all knew that Trump really wants a stimulus check, and I said that a couple of weeks ago in the video that I posted, but he doesn't say it that often. And it's good that he's mentioning it now, because we're at a time right now where the Senate is on recess. They won't be coming back until June 1st. And the House, they went ahead, put the HEROES Act in place, approved it, sent it over to the Senate, and the Senate didn't do anything with it. So now we're in a situation where no one's doing anything right now. And the fact that the president did come out and say that he does want another round of stimulus checks, that really will help a lot of the Republicans in the Senate look at it and say, okay, well, we'll be open to that as well, because they want to please the president. And that's been the pattern. So that's good that the president is open to stimulus checks, but now we just need to get the Senate to move. And there's never been, and like I said, I keep going back to this, April 23rd, watch that video. I said there will be another stimulus check. So in my mind, there's never been a question of will we have it or won't we have it? It's just when will it happen and how much it will be. Those are the two major things that we don't know. We still don't know at this time. We know that the HEROES Act has the $1,200, which I'm thinking is probably going to be the $1,200. And only because, or the main reason, is because they've already done it before. So they have everything, they have the blueprint down, so hopefully they can get it out to us as fast as possible. And maybe that's the best route to go. Now, making it 2,000, I think wouldn't be that much harder. But just knowing the exact amount, $1,200, how much it costs to get everything in motion. Now, they have made some changes. The $1,200 for dependent, that wasn't in the CARES Act. So they will have to make some adjustments when it comes to that, if that is in the bill. Now, that might be negotiated back down to $500, which is probably likely, right? They asked for $1,200. They'll probably just bring it back down to $500. However, allow all dependents of any age to be able to qualify to get that $500. Let's talk a little bit about the end of his statement. He was saying that he thinks a stimulus check should be going out towards the end of the outbreak. So we don't really know when that's going to be. We don't know, because it can always spike back up. So it can go down, spike up, go down, spike up. So it's one of those deals where we're not sure when it's going to happen. And he's talking about we're focusing on reopening the country. That is the perfect time to provide stimulus checks to the American people, because when you're opening back up, if you're providing these stimulus checks, these people will spend. So they're going to be going to these stores. They're going to be going to these restaurants. They're going to go get haircuts. They're going to do a lot of things that they were afraid to do in the past. Now that they have a little bit of money, they'll probably go out and do those things. Even go and buy retail stuff, go to buy clothes. And I know people are really up in arms when we talk about buying big screen TVs and stuff like that with stimulus check money. But this money is to stimulate the economy. And if you have an opportunity to give someone money, some people who really need to pay their bills are going to be paying their bills. But some other people, let's say you have a job and you receive a stimulus check, so this is additional money, then you might invest that money. You might go out and buy something like a big screen TV and stuff like that, because you're still helping the economy, because you're helping these stores that sell this type of merchandise. If everybody says, no, we can only spend it on essential items, or we're only going to spend it on essential items, well, now you're putting yourself in a situation where some of these other stores are really going to suffer as a result of that. And I talked about this in a video I just put out yesterday, where I talked about, well, maybe we could allow people to get a stimulus check and then also allow them to get a loan. And that loan would be forgivable as long as they spend it on essential items. And the reason that that would be effective is because you could still spend that money on essential items. So let's say you got it on your debit card, you're spending this loan money on essential items, and then with the other money that you have, then you can buy other things that are, non-essential. However, the reasoning with Trump, where he's saying we'll wait until towards the end of the outbreak, that doesn't make any sense to me, because if you're starting to reopen and if you're just going to continue to wait, these businesses are going to suffer. And some of these businesses are going to go under waiting for another stimulus check. So that doesn't make any sense to me when he says that. And then also the liability protection. This is something that the Republicans have been pushing. Mitch McConnell's been pushing this hard. So that should be coming out sooner than later. That should be coming out as soon as possible. Because if you're reopening the country, you want to be able to provide liability protection for these businesses that are opening. So you need to put everything in that package, the stimulus checks and all that, and get that signed off as soon as possible. So the way I see it, it's always been a question of when, not will we receive another one. It's when will we receive it. And so timeline right now, we're looking at probably early July, when we'll start receiving stimulus checks. Because we're already into June, basically, because Senate will come back June 1st. They're going to have to put some stuff in committees. They're going to have to get a bill together if they don't want to go with the HEROES Act. Or if they do the HEROES Act, Mitch McConnell already said that he doesn't want it to go over $1 trillion. So right now the HEROES Act is $3 trillion. So that's $2 trillion that's going to need to be cut out of that. So that's going to be a lot of stuff they're going to cut out. So if that's the case, they'll have to cut all that out, and then we'll have the bill go back to the House, and then the House will have to sign off and then go to the president. So I would hope that everything could get done mid-June. I would hope that they could get everything voted on mid-June and have it on the president's desk mid-June. And then that way he can sign off on it. And then we're looking at at least a couple weeks for them to get everything together, as far as the IRS needs to get things together again and then figure out dates and then start sending out checks. So that's where we're looking right now. Now, if there's some hiccups and the House of Representatives and the Senate aren't getting along as far as what they want, as far as negotiations, then we could see it pushed into late June as far as approving it and getting it to the president. And if that's the case, well, then unfortunately, we're going to be looking at mid-July, maybe even the end of July, when people will start receiving checks. So it's really unfortunate, because every month we're putting people even further back when it comes down to how they're paying their bills and things like that. And a lot of people are using these stimulus checks to pay their bills. And so because of that, when we wait, it's just getting worse and worse. And these businesses are going to see it firsthand when they start opening their business and people just don't go. They just don't go to these different places, because right now they're just trying to save money. So the last thing they're going to want to do is go to a restaurant. The last thing they're going to want to do is to purchase an item that they don't really need. So I'm hoping that the Senate realizes this, and I'm still holding to this. I'm hoping some of the senators right now will come back and start really hashing out some stuff. Or even at home, they can work on some different proposals at home, start putting some of that stuff out. At least it will show that they're trying to do something, even though they're on break. But we have to wait. We just have to wait. And that's the most frustrating part about this whole thing, because in the comment section, everybody is really upset as far as how Congress is acting, as far as let's just wait. And there have been plenty of comments where they don't need the money. That's why they don't care. But that's one of those deals where you need to make them care, because all of them represent either a state or they represent districts. And especially if it's a state that's a poor state where you have a lot of people struggling and they don't really care, then you need to let them know, hey, I live in Mitch McConnell's in Kentucky. And let's say you live in Kentucky, you let him know, hey, I'm struggling. And you're not doing anything. You guys are going on recess. So that stuff means a lot to politicians, because you have to understand the politicians' biggest fear is not being reelected. So they're going to move if they see enough people in their district or in their state that's up in arms about how things are being handled. They will move. And even more than business, believe it or not, because we see businesses, they have lobbyists and they're giving money to these different politicians. So they're helping support their campaigns and things like that. And so these politicians feel that they have to go with what these businesses want because they're supporting them in that way. However, we're supporting them by votes. So we don't have to give them money, but we're giving them votes. And if they know that there's a large population that's upset and unwilling to vote for them in November, they're going to move. Trust me, they will move. And so I know there were petitions that were going out about different proposals. Realistically, petitions should be going out about dissatisfaction and getting 100,000 people in one state to sign a petition and send that to the politicians, or to like I said, if it's Kentucky, I'm using Kentucky only because I'm not picking on Mitch McConnell, but right now he is in control of the Senate, and so the Senate right now is the one that's stalling. And so if let's say you had a petition going in Kentucky and it got a large number of signatures and it was sent to his office, I guarantee you he's going to move a lot faster because he's going to realize I have a lot of upset people in my state. And if I want to win re-election, which he'll be up on the ballot in November, then I need to make some decisions and not just put things on hold. I need to at the very least, come out and tell the public, hey, this is what we plan to do. So that's all I have for you guys today. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, please let me know down below. Also, this week we have representative payees. You should be receiving the direct deposit. So be on the lookout for that. They initially gave us the May 27th date, but then they just said the last week of May. So anytime this week, you guys should be receiving something. So thank you guys for stopping by. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe down below and check out these videos over here for some more great content. Talk to you later. Bye.